Hey, it's Thomas Mulready from CoolCleveland.com. We are talking today with Jan Rybka from the Cuyahoga Soil and Water Conservation District. Jan, thank you so much for all the great work you guys are doing. Tell us a little bit about the organization and really what your mission is.
Okay. Well, our organization, the Soil and Water Conservation District, we're one of 88 in the state of Ohio. We were formed in 1949, so 71 years strong, and we've grown from an organization that was mostly volunteers run by the board to an organization of 13 staff, professional staff, and four main program areas. So conservation, education, watershed program, stewardship, stormwater, and our natural resources program. And urban agriculture is under that umbrella.
Wow. You have so many cool programs. Congratulations. And they're fun and they're interesting. You know, you've got things like the crappiest dog photo contest and
Yes.
native plant sale. I mean, stuff that's really cool. But we have some real issues in this region, right? When it comes to this, what are the things that are really facing Cuyahoga County and our region?
Well, you have to almost start globally with the climate change, right? There's almost not a day that goes by, at least a week that goes by, that you don't hear about these dramatic shifts in climate. And naturally, we look at last winter. I mean, we've just seen some real, I think, extreme weather in terms of rain events, but warmer weather lately here, which is going to have a huge impact on our natural environment. So that's huge in Cleveland and in an urban area when you have that climate change. And what does it do if we have higher heat days or more rain? How does that impact on all of us, but especially those people that are more underserved, that maybe don't have the resources? And so under that umbrella of climate change in Cleveland and Cuyahoga, I think the change in the environment and the natural environment, so we see much more degraded soils that are devoid of any living matter almost, right? And they're compacted. They're almost like a concrete surface. That's how compacted they are. And then the trees and the loss of our urban tree canopy in Cleveland, we're down to below 19%. That's very scary for someplace called the Forest City, right?
Yeah.
And those trees we know have so many benefits, from keeping the air clean to slowing down water to providing habitat. And when you talk about the heat island effect, keeping our homes and offices cool.
Talk about also COVID, because the effects there with the way, I don't know, it seems that the environment is changing so rapidly since we've done this lockdown. I mean, have you seen reports where the environment has sort of started to bounce back, or how do you feel about that?
Yeah, probably not unlike you. I have seen some information come through that because people aren't driving, so using less gasoline, so you have less emissions. I'm not sure about less electricity, but so some of that, but it's been few and far between, those reports about how much better the environment has been. But it does appear that some of the waterways around the world are clear, more clear. And whether it's, intercontinental transportation, I'm not sure about that yet.
Yeah, and less fishing, less, the meat. There's so many things I think that are starting to,
Yeah.
it all adds up. So talk about some of the cool programs that you guys have. We promoted a native plant sale, for example, last week for you guys. What is that all about? I mean, how do you guys help people in Cuyahoga County with?
The idea with the native plants is to just get people to kind of pledge allegiance to conservation. So in your backyard, you know, we live in a condo, but on my deck, I have, you know, the native like coneflowers and some native plants. And it's amazing to see what you attract, the different birds. In fact, I was looking at the parsley and I'm like, what the heck are these things? They were caterpillars, yellow swallowtail caterpillars that just decimated the parsley. And I think that birds pretty much had a feast on those caterpillars. But,
Yeah.
you know, to see them there, you know, in such a small space so everybody can, whether you have a big yard or small yard, plant some of those native plants, attract those pollinators. And, you know, I'm here to tell you that until I took this job, so that's almost 20 years, right? That every year I'd go out and spend, you know, hundreds of dollars on annuals, right? Which if you go away for 3 days and it's hot, what happens? They die. So I finally got fed up, started planting native plants, and I was sitting there one day and like, what the heck is that bird? I started attracting birds that I never had, and that's when we lived over in Slavic Village. So that's a pretty, you know, hardscrabble environment, right? Harvard was kind of in our backyard. So amazing. And then seeing the butterflies. So if you build it, they will come. And that's, I think that's something that everybody can do. And it's pretty. So it's a different kind of landscape. But I just see all around, especially here in the Heights, people that have planted those native landscapes in their front yard, and it can be done very well, almost like an English garden. And so, you know, perfect.
And you guys have classes as well online where you're helping people. Talk about some of the ways that some of the different types of classes you offer.
Well, this starting this week, and then for 5 Fridays after that is our third session of Master Rain Gardeners. And that was a program that was started in Ouachita, Michigan, and we teamed up with them and the Chagrin River Watershed Partners, Lake Soil and Water, Summit Soil and Water, and teaching people what a rain garden is. So think of a garden that collects the water and holds it kind of like on a platter underground, and that all those pollutants go in and they filter down in its native plants. So it's a garden, but instead of you actually dig it out and drain the water to that garden. So instead of having it run off the land. And that's been really, really popular. It's online, so this will be the second of the 5-week series that's online. We've had about 25 people register and participate in each of the classes so far. So we'll look forward to seeing how many start. And the idea with the Master Rain Gardener, so you learn, you know, about, you know, watersheds and stormwater pollution prevention, and then how to build a rain garden. And the idea is to get these people going out, building a rain garden, and then kind of helping volunteering to maintain rain gardens throughout the county. And of course, inspiring other people, their friends and neighbors, to build rain gardens as well.
Yeah. It's great. I mean, I'm just looking at your programs. I encourage people to go to your website, Cuyahoga Soil and Water Conservation District. Let the flare see the air to make sure that the trees are growing properly. Individual acts of conservation, greening large properties, green yards, and healthy homes. It's a great way that you have of looking at things that I think is very counter to the way our sort of corporate culture has brought us up. So keep up the good work. Congratulations. I'm glad things are going well. Hope that with COVID here, the environment continues to respond positively, and we give it all the help we can give it.
Well, it's great to have staff, and kind of interesting that in our strategic plan that we finished last year, that one of the things we identified is we wanted to make use of technology. Well, who would have known that we would have met that goal 4 months into the new year. So the staff's worked really, really hard and figured out how to navigate through these. The teacher workshops online, and it's not quite the same as connecting with people. So hopefully we'll get back to having our rain barrel workshops kind of more like a drive-by as opposed to, being there and assembling your own rain gardens. So we're trying to come up with new tricks of the trade to
Right.
get the word out there. So we appreciate your help.
Well, congratulations on getting yourself up to speed online, because that's what it's all about, and it's probably going to be that way for a while.
Yeah.
We're going to continue to pay attention to what you do. Stay in touch. Thanks so much, Jan, for taking a few minutes and talking.
Thank you. Appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. It's Thomas Mulready from CoolCleveland. Be well and stay safe.